If someone comes up to you and asks you, when was the last time you changed your motorcycle coolant? If your answer is somewhere along the lines of, I haven't, I can't remember, do you need to change your motorcycle coolant? Then you probably need to change your motorcycle coolant. If you live in a tropical country like here in the Philippines where it's constantly hot all year round, it's a good idea to replace your motorcycle coolant every so often. In my case, I like to change it every 2 years or so, but in some cases, like if you have the time, it's a good idea to change it every year. Let's see, how do you actually change your bike coolant? So to do a coolant flush of your bike, you're going to need the following things. Of course, you're going to need your coolant. This one is Pro 99 oat coolant. I bought this from Shopee. It has to be oat. It says oat. This one is prescribed by Triumph for the Trident 660. Next, you're gonna need a basin, and you need this to catch the coolant that you're going to be, or the old coolant that you're going to be draining from your bike. A funnel to help you put in new coolant in your radiator. For your tools, you're going to need the following: an 8mm wrench. You can do the open ones, but these ones work better. Your 8mm socket. You're gonna need this to remove the reservoir from the bike. A Phillips head screwdriver to remove the radiator cap from the bike. And if you want to do a complete flush of your system, distilled water. Oh, and before I forget, you're going to need a crush washer to replace your old one that you're going to be taking off from your drain bolt, your coolant drain bolt. So first off, you want to do this when your bike is cold. You don't want to do this when you just turned off your bike. Hot coolant might spray you in the face and injure you. You're gonna have a bad time. Do this with the bike cooled down. So first step is to find the drain bolt, the coolant drain bolt of your bike. On the Trident, it's this one. A clue for you to identify which is which is this bolt is actually under this pipe right here, right next to the oil filter. And if you look closely, there's actually a crush washer underneath the bolt head, so that's another sign that you're on the right bolt. Alright, so for this one, you'd want to crack this bolt open using the 8mm wrench that you have. So once that's loose, you don't want to remove it just yet. So once you've properly cracked it open, you want to get your basin and just loosen that bolt completely. It's going to be tight because it's near the O2 sensor. Now the O2 sensor, you don't really need to worry about it. Just make sure that it doesn't get soaked, although it probably will be. That's fine. So you might be wondering, why is it not draining out? That's because the radiator cap is still on. So that's our next step. So we're gonna loosen the radiator cap, and you'll actually see the coolant drain out much faster now. Make sure you target the catch basin properly. So while that thing's draining, you're going to want to remove your Trident's coolant reservoir. It's behind this shroud right here, and it's going to need an 8mm socket. And you're going to be removing these 3 bolts. Alright? So let's go ahead and do that right now. So a piece of advice, the threads that these bolts thread into, they're quite soft, so it's easy to cross thread. So make sure when you're threading in these bolts back, make sure they're on there correctly. Otherwise, you might cross-thread your threads. So once you remove that plastic shroud off, you're gonna see this coolant reservoir. You're gonna need to remove it and drain it. So to remove it, you just simply need to push it out or pull it all out. Remove this rubber cap. This acts as a vacuum so that it can siphon the coolant from the reservoir. I'm just gonna wipe that later. But basically, you wanna drain this reservoir. And then if there's any gunk inside, you're going to want to flush that off and clean it with distilled water. Dispose of your coolant properly. So if you want to be really thorough about it, you're going to want to fill up your radiator with distilled water. The bike needs around 2.2 liters of fluid, either coolant or distilled water, and then you're going to run it for about 5 to 10 minutes or so, just so that all the deposits, all the leftover fluid gets completely flushed out. So we're gonna do that right now. Also, you're going to want to put your drain bolt back. Don't forget, you don't need to replace the crush washer just yet, since we're going to be flushing it with distilled water. So you just need to put it back tight enough so the distilled water doesn't spill out. Once we actually replace the fluid inside with actual coolant, that's when we're going to use a new crush washer. Next is we're going to be filling this up with distilled water, and then we're going to let the bike run. So let's do that right now. So at this point, you're going to want to start your bike, and the water level or the fluid level inside the radiator will come down. Wait for it to run for 5 minutes, and then let it cool down. Let it cool down. So when you do this the first time, you might notice there's some smoke coming off the headers. Don't worry, that's the spilled coolant that is burning off from your pipes. So don't panic, it's normal, don't worry about it. Now let's just wait for the bike to run for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then let it cool down so that you don't burn yourself. Alright, see you back in a bit. That's about 7 minutes done, so let's just let the bike cool down, and then we're going to drain the distilled water in the system. So it's been a few minutes now. I think the engine's cool. So let's grab our basin and drain the distilled water that's in the system. So as you can see, the water is still kind of pink. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna leave the drain bolt open, or the drain hole open, and then I'm going to run distilled water through the radiator again until the water that comes out is clear. So let's do that right now. So that's the water right now. Ideally, you want it super duper clear, but if it's just a bit pink, that's probably fine. So next up, we're going to fill the system with proper coolant now. Grab your baggie of crush washers. Get one. So in this case, we're going to put the new crush washer in our drain bolt, just like so. And then we're gonna put it back to the drain hole. Wipe it down. Wipe your O2 sensor down, and then put in the new drain bolt. It doesn't have to be crazy tight, just tight enough just so it doesn't unscrew itself. Now don't forget to refill your coolant reservoir. So to keep things not as messy, use a funnel. So I actually just noticed this now, but there's an indent here. I'm not sure if that's to guide you where the actual fill line is. I'm just going to think that it is, so I'm going to use that line instead. So again, when putting back the bolts, make sure to put them securely and steadily. They have a tendency to cross thread, so be careful. For the next step, you're gonna fill your actual radiator with coolant. And then you're gonna let the bike run, and then as it's running, you're gonna want to fill it up because the level is gonna go down. So you're gonna fill it up to the brim, just about. So let's do that right now. Oh, and by the way, the Trident takes about 2.2 liters of coolant, or around 2 liters. So just to be safe, get 3 liters when you're doing a complete flush. So as you can see here, the radiator is just about full to the brim, but look what happens when I start the bike. The coolant level goes down, so you're going to want to fill it up just before the brim. So when you're satisfied, you just simply put the radiator cap back on. So to do that, you line up this lip to the notch over there, and then put the radiator cap screw back on. So once you've done filling up your radiator with coolant, starting the bike, and blipping the throttle just to bleed the system out, you're gonna want to top it off just so it's just about the brim. So the next thing you want to do is take a ride on your bike and make sure that all the bolts are tight and make sure nothing leaks. When that's done, that's it. You have fresh coolant on your bike. Your bike's gonna run a lot more cooler than what it used to be. So with that, I hope your bike runs a lot more cooler now, and I hope you enjoyed. If you like what I do, if you like the stuff that you're seeing on the channel, make sure to give me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the road. Bye bye. See you next one.